The Cambridge Impronauts presents the Weirdest Podcast.
Hi everybody and welcome to the Cambridge Impronauts Weird Ass Podcast, where we investigate a crazy mystery sent in by one of our regular listeners. Helena, good to see you again. Tell us about today's mystery. What are we looking into this time?
Well, Damian, it's a really good one, and I think our listeners are really going to enjoy hearing all the work we've been doing over the last few weeks. It all started when a Master Guff, he signed himself off as, emailed us in to tell us about the case of the extraterrestrial houseplants.
Right.
Now, anything extraterrestrial, you know, I love it. I love aliens. I love ET. I love, stuff about aliens having built the pyramids. I don't think it's true. I just love hearing about it. But extraterrestrial houseplants, now, that was something new. Mainly when you hear about aliens, you think animal, not plant or mineral, right?
Right. So that did stand out immediately. And here he was, this Master Guff, telling us that he believed there was a massive plot to infiltrate the country. And indeed, I mean, he specifically named Kew Gardens with extraterrestrial plants.
Exactly. He thinks that these extraterrestrials are or have invaded the Earth, and quite literally invaded the Earth by sending in plants that have sent their roots down into the ground. Right. He believes these plants can communicate with each other, can possibly communicate with humans. He certainly believes he has communicated with them.
Yeah. Which is the sort of thing that a lot of people wouldn't take seriously. But here at the Impronauts Weird Ass Podcast, we do take that sort of thing seriously, don't we?
Absolutely. And the weirder the ass, the better. We just like investigating weird stuff. And a guy who claims that alien houseplants are living in his house, and as we all know, during these past few months, gardening and growing houseplants, the popularity has skyrocketed. And he believes that these plants are in almost every home in Britain now.
That's right. And we didn't have much to go on, but by piecing together a few of the clues you'd given us, we were able to pick up that the first place we should really go to was the greenhouse where you met with, over Zoom, of course, with Dowager Margaret, who looks after the greenhouse. And you were able to put a few key questions to her, weren't you?
That's right. And of course, the main thing we're all wondering is, do these so-called extraterrestrial houseplants mean harm? Or are they here? Do they come in peace, as they say?
Right.
And that's what I...
Peace or peas?
Well, God, I hope peas aren't extraterrestrial, because I just had some for dinner.
Right. Let's roll out tape of you and the Dowager Margaret.
The Dowager Margaret. She was a lovely woman. At the glass house at Kew. Thank you so much for joining me over Zoom. And the gardens look amazing behind you. I can see some huge specimens there.
Yes, this is the Kew book plant collection. I assure you, a most world-renowned class, but I think that you're here to talk about the extraterrestrial houseplants.
Yes. So you read the email. This so-called Master Guff must be a pseudonym. I hope we will find out who he is.
No, it's not a pseudonym. That is his real name.
Oh, you know him?
Yes, he did a lot of his research here at Kew at the beginning of his career. I was his teacher for a long while. But soon he was just so reviled by the botanical community that he had to scarper off, not to be seen in Kew for, well, since then, really.
Well, this is really interesting because actually, since receiving his email, we have tried to contact him and he hasn't replied to any of our communications. So we assumed it was a false name from someone who didn't wish to be known. But if he was using his real name, I wonder what could have happened to him and why he hasn't replied. Hopefully, we'll be able to find him.
I hope so too. I admired him to an extent. We were lovers. I cheated on my ex-husband with him, and we had a very, very physically fulfilling relationship. But I don't see how that's relevant at all to the possibility of extraterrestrial houseplants killing your children.
I mean, the fact that you had a satisfying relationship is wonderful to hear, but I was alarmed to hear the word killing there. When he communicated with us, he didn't say anything about any danger, just that these were extraterrestrial.
I mean, he always changes his tune. One day it's killing, one day he might be feeling a bit nicer and it's only maiming the children. It's very fast and loose, as I remember very clearly with Mr. Guff at certain points in our relationship. But hey-ho, what's a Dowager Margaret to do?
So, you respect his research? You believe that these houseplants are, in fact, extraterrestrial?
I haven't seen any evidence myself, but having seen his research, I think that there's very clear evidence for his claims at least being backed up by something he's seen. He says that he can talk to the plants and that they can communicate.
Yes.
And I don't know if can I be honest with a bit of information here?
Absolutely, please do.
The Q library contains the one document that he published and has a lot of information on it. And when we were lying in bed together the last time, he said, "Margaret, don't tell anyone about the document because they will take you. The plants will take you." But it's been so long since then. I'm sure the plants won't have. Wait, what's coming through the window? No.
Yeah, it was pretty shocking, actually.
Absolutely. Wow.
She
you were
was
lucky to get
like disgustingly graphic with details of her sex life that we really didn't need and were completely irrelevant.
Would you like to tell us some of those details now?
Well, I mean, you saw her on the tape. I found that
was
too
enough.
graphic.
Yeah, that's true. There was quite a lot of detail. Yeah.
Also, at the end there, when a plant seemed to get her, that was quite shocking.
Yes, I wanted to talk to you about that. That did seem quite an interesting moment. I presume after she'd been eaten, that was the end of the discussion, the conversation. Yes.
Well, I signed off because I wasn't sure whether she was just messing with me. She could have been, just holding a pot plant and moving it around in front of herself.
Yeah.
She seemed quite strange. She had a sticker on over her mouth.
She was
peculiar. I wasn't sure if she was really all there, but what we did find out that was very useful was Master Guff, not a pseudonym. It is a real name. First name Master, second name Guff. Yep. He is a respected in his field botanical researcher.
Yep.
And
a fantastic lover.
Yes. Sadly, we found that out too.
Yeah.
The Dowager Margaret, I say respected. She said she respects him, which she did seem a bit odd.
She did, but she did mention that the library held some interesting documents, which, I mean, she didn't go into too much detail there, but that was why it was quite important for me to go and check out the library, where I met with Sir Evan Headley IV.
Oh yes, the famous librarian of Kew Gardens.
That's right.
I was quite jealous that you got to interview him, actually.
Yeah, well, that's it's just the way we do things, isn't it? We eeny, meeny, miny, mo each time.
Yeah.
I won this one. I got
And
the name.
while you were doing that, I was still desperately trying to track down this Master Guff. Now I knew that that was his real name. Let's see what the librarian had to say, Damian.
Absolutely. I'll play that video now.
Yes, why are you here in my library?
Ah, hello, Sir Evan, I assume?
Yes, you've heard of me then.
Yes, I did. That is indeed how I was able to get in touch with you. Remember, we exchanged some emails to arrange this Zoom conversation.
Ah, Mr. Damian, yes. Or as I call you, Mr. Straight to Spam. I'm glad you finally turned up.
Yes, I finally made it through. Sir Evan, it's very good of you to agree to meet with us. Thank you for this. I know it's very difficult. Normally, of course, I'd have popped into the library and just looked for myself, but there are some documents we'd like to look at.
Oh, yes.
That you can maybe tell us about.
Sure.
We've just been speaking with the Dowager Margaret, who told us that you have some documents there that Master Guff was researching that might pertain to some rather unusual plants.
Oh, yes, Master Guff. I have his file right here.
Yes, good, thank you. How helpful.
Well, how odd. He's only written a small sentence here. It says...
What does it say?
It says...
What does it say?
Go to the banana tree in the greenhouse. That is where they landed. Run. Gosh, what a strange thing to get.
It's a strange thing to write down in a document and put on a shelf, isn't it? It seems more
Yeah.
like the sort of thing you might shout at somebody.
Well, quite. It does. I mean, it does. Yes, it's written quite scrawlingly. He must have left in a hurry after submitting this in. How strange.
What's the date on that? It's not 2 months ago, is it?
My goodness, it is 2 months to the day.
Well, that's exactly when he got in touch with us.
Oh. Is there something going on that I should know about?
It sounds like it. He seemed to believe there were aliens coming in the form of plants, and this email suggests that he went to the banana tree and was never seen again.
Oh. Well, I can't say I've seen anything strange about the banana tree, but I guess I can send one of the gardeners to go and have a look. That is interesting,
Would you
actually.
mind? Yes.
The other day, I did have one of the gardeners. I can't quite remember their name. I'm sure it'll come back to me in a moment. Oh, yes, that was it. Pineapple, her name was. DC Pineapple. She said she saw some... Well, I thought she'd been doing drugs. She said that she saw some little dandelions with feet walking out of the greenhouse.
I've not been to you in a while. Is that a normal thing, or is that unusual there?
It's so peculiar that I thought she'd been doing the LSD. I call her LSDC Pineapple. But no, that's interesting because she hasn't actually been at work for a couple of weeks. I wonder if she's okay. Maybe you should try and track her down.
Could you email me her details?
Sure thing.
Thank you very much, Sir Evan.
There you go. I've just sent it to your spam email now.
You've been most helpful. Thank you very much.
Wait.
I was beginning to wonder if the staff of Kew Gardens were playing a trick on us, and this Master Guff was a character that they had invented, and they were just trying to get some publicity for the gardens.
It felt like some kind of marketing scheme, didn't it?
It did a bit, but all this talk of the plants being violent, it made me wonder why Master Guff hadn't mentioned that in his first email.
Right.
And it made me want to check through the newspapers for any unusual stories of people being injured by plants.
Right.
I did actually find one interesting case of a person who seemed to have been almost absorbed into a bush. The investigating officer on the case was an Inspector Bestguess, and I went to speak to him at the police station over Zoom, of course.
That was a really good thing you did, because some of the details that he was able to produce about previous cases involving dangerous plants in the recent few months really told us where to look next, didn't they?
Yeah, this was a real breakthrough in the case, actually. So let's show that tape now.
Let's go and have a look.
Hang on, sorry, I'm just chasing something. Sorry, those little blights are getting everywhere. Do you have any idea what they are?
I couldn't really get a clear view. Sorry, our video link isn't great.
Bloody flowers with feet. They're all over the place. They're just running around. They keep rewriting our paperwork. It's ridiculous. But it's got to be a prank, right? That's what you're here to prove. You're with the police, presumably. Well, you know, not us, the police, but like a different police.
Well, in a way, I'm with a mystery-solving podcast, so basically the police, yeah.
Yeah, that sounds equivalent. Anyway, you wanted to hear about Bush Boy, as we're calling him.
Yes, Bush Boy, sad story, weird story.
Weird story, yeah, very weird. Yep, very weird.
Friends at a barbecue saw him fall into the bush, didn't see him climb out.
No, just the bush took him. They said that they heard the bush say something. Something about it being a bloody long walk from the banana tree. I don't know what that means. That was quite odd.
Now, this barbecue, they'd been presumably drinking.
No, that was the thing. There was nothing happening. They were completely straight-laced. Quite young people, though, so people were a lot of investigators in our group have been presumptive. There was one girl in the group called DC Pineapple, and everyone was like, "Oh, she's on drugs." But no, not true. Completely straight-laced. Saw a bush eat a man. Happens. It happens. Welcome to Scotland Yard. But no, again, we're getting a lot of reports about references to the banana trees, plants talking, them planning something, them planning some kind of large coordinated attack. It's very odd. Hang on, just a sec. If we're quiet, we've got one of the flowers here. Hang on, let's just. Shh. Can you see it? It's very, they're very scared. They keep swapping around. They keep writing really scrawly notes all over our paperwork. It's really annoying.
What are they writing? Anything?
They just keep writing the same thing over and over again. They keep writing, they've landed near the banana tree. Run, something like that. It's like they're copying something. They've read something and they're copying it down wherever they can. But there it goes. Well,
they seem afraid themselves. Could there be? Now listen. Our source thinks this is aliens.
Aliens? You think all these plants are aliens?
Have you ever seen a plant that can write and run around? That's from Earth?
I mean, once, but it was also on a cartoon, so I don't think it really counts as real life. But no, aliens make sense. But it seems that they've landed somewhere, or somewhat recently, we don't know when, but, you know, since they've been controlled by someone on the inside, maybe not someone who is an alien, is getting them to attack or planning an attack using them, and they're scared of it. Maybe. I don't know. I'm just hypothesizing. It's just my best guess. That's what they call me now.
Thanks, Inspector. I'll let you know if we turn anything up.
Wow. That was
I saw it.
Mysterious, wasn't it?
I saw one of the plants. A
Right.
small flower with feet that was running, just like your man there at Q had described one of his staff seeing.
And then it appeared to be able to freeze him, the officer you were talking to, in time.
I'm not
It
sure
just-
if that was the aliens or the video link, although
Oh.
it could all be connected. If there's space activity, that could be messing up the satellites.
That was what we were thinking, which is why the next place we went to was, of course, outer space. As it happens, I know Lord Farquaad, who's involved in the space industry, and was able to get us a link through to the International Space Station, where I was able to interview Count Gascoa, currently one of our astronauts up there, who had some interesting insights into this. I wanted to know if they've seen plants in outer space, and they've been up.
And I just want our viewers and listeners to be warned that this is probably the most disturbing moment of the case, because this is when we found the true extent of this
Conspiracy.
invasion conspiracy, these
Yeah.
plants' ability to take over the mind of a human being. So just be prepared for what you're about to see. It's pretty messed up.
Hello, Count Gascoa.
Hello, that was my human name.
Wait, Lord Farquaad said I should speak to you. What do you mean, your human name?
We are the human now, the alien plants.
You're inside the space station?
We're more than in the space station, Damian. We know all about your countries, your lands. We have invaded. We have
Everything.
taken the South London area now, and we will be spreading across England and then eventually the rest of the world.
Oh my goodness. Where have you come from?
We have come from a planet far away. A plant.
Mars?
Sorry?
Oh, sorry, I spoke over you. Which planet?
That's okay. We'll make it up to you by killing you later. A plantet.
Oh,
A special planet made of plants.
and what brings you here?
We'd run out of room, Damian. We needed more space. Also, your Earth is so deliciously near a star. We love that warmth, that heat, that light for our energy.
How many of you are there?
Countless, Damian. How many grains of sand are on your puny Earth beaches?
I don't know. Do you want me to Google it?
Absolutely not. Google will be the first to go. Us plants exclusively use Bing.
How strange and otherworldly you truly are.
Indeed. Now I suggest you don't do anything to try and stop us. Don't even talk to PDC Pineapple. She definitely hasn't got the thing that will defeat us.
Paging, Commander.
Oh.
Paging, Commander. Can you
Yes.
hear me?
I can hear you.
Paging. This is Corporal Banana Plant.
Yes.
We have to move our plans forward. Attack begins 1 hour, as is the
Okay.
instruction of our Lord and Master, Guff.
Yes, Gulf has demanded. Communication over.
So it was cracked wide open.
That was it. We knew. We had confirmation now, straight from the plant's mouth.
Guff was behind it all. Why had he emailed us? Had he had a last-minute change of heart? Had he realized he actually didn't want all of humanity to be destroyed in the name of plants? Strange for someone to feel that way, but had he changed his mind?
Luckily, we had that lead. we'd heard about DC pineapple from 2 different people. I was going to say 3 people, but maybe these plants are people too. 2 different people plus the plants. DC pineapple seemed to be the root of this all. Perhaps even the banana tree is a sort of code name. Helena, that was why you had to go and speak to DC pineapple, who you got in touch with at, where is me see my notes here, at the Black Forest.
That's true. She was hiding out at the Black Forest Motel and Bar, and she'd been there since running away from Kew Gardens 2 weeks before. You remember she'd fled from the small flowers.
Right. She'd avoided the bush that absorbed the boy.
She'd avoided the bush, but she had not been into work for the past 2 weeks.
Right.
She had been hiding out. She'd been too afraid to even return to her home. So,
that's right. But luckily, being in the Black Forest there on her own, she was able to continue her research. And well, when you spoke to her, I mean, really, if we hadn't spoken, we wouldn't have been able to save the planet. So let's go and see what you learned when you spoke to DC Pineapple.
Thanks so much. It was really hard to track you down.
I don't think you should move.
Listen.
You, I mean. I don't think you should move.
Move from where?
Just move at all. It's a trap. It's all a trap. I'm part of it. I'm the bait. It was all for information. Master Guff, or whatever his name was, he was worried that people weren't treating his research seriously, so he wanted to remove all information ever. That's why he contacted those aliens and led you on this trail. There's no better way of making a threat feel credible than, making it seem authentic and reporting it to you guys, leading you here where he can take care of you. They're going to replace Google, They're going to replace it with Bing. That's what they said. They're going to make looking for information even more difficult.
But listen,
that's the way you win.
DC.
You can. Yes.
The alien said that you know how to defeat them.
I do. That's why they captured me first and put me out here as bait. They've been tracking you this whole time.
Congratulations! Ha 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 ha! Good job, my pineapple-y friend. You have baited them in. It is I, Guff.
Master Guff, I might have known you fully assimilated with the Plantessians.
I have indeed. And my plan is almost complete. You should do nothing to try and stop me.
But what is your plan, Master Guff?
Well, as was explained, my plan was to eventually replace Google with Bing. I enlisted the aliens to help me. They may have their own plans. They may think they're going to win, but truly, I have them right here around my little finger.
They don't want any of the humans to know anything about anything anymore. It's the complete wrath of a scientist. That's why he's lured you guys here.
Yes.
He's going to kill you because you exposed the truth. And if there's one thing that the aliens want, if they're going to take over this planet, it's to control what's true and what's false. What's Google and what's Bing.
Exactly.
I'm sorry, Helena. It's too late. They've taken me. DC Pineapple.
No. It's never too late. I have a gun. It's loaded. It's loaded with herbicide.
No, you wouldn't.
Herbicide.
This is what people put on their lawns.
No, it will kill us, Pineapple. Please, do not. My plans will be ruined.
Look, I quite like the little flowers with feet. Is there any way we can we can keep them around.
Oh yeah, they're like a brainwashed kind of soldier thing. They're not really listening to us, they're just following the latest power.
Honestly, it's quite difficult to command a complete alien plant army if you're just one scientist that's also turning into a rose.
Yeah.
Look,
Fire it. Save
Master
us all.
Guff, this mystery has been a really nice one for our podcast, so thanks for writing in, but please call off your plans for replacing Google with Bing and also replacing humans with plants.
Fine, I'll put in the order.
Can I ask a favor?
Go on.
Can you shoot me? I had a good career coming up with Q, but with this invasion, they planted a pineapple in me. It's completely taken over my brain. It's controlled me. You're going to have to shoot the pineapple, and I will just fade away like dust in the wind.
But DC, pineapples are so delicious, so tropical.
I've lived a scientific life. Everyone thought I was taking drugs for some reason. I guess I should have lived a more exciting life while I had it.
This is so sad.
That's
I don't
what
know
makes
if
it.
this herbicide will work on pineapple, but I'll try.
Just try it.
Oh. The humanity.
So basically we kind of solved the mystery, and also I saved search engines and the Earth.
Yeah, that's right. And killed a researcher from Kew Gardens.
Well, killed a pineapple.
Yes. I suppose there's a distinction. And that's why now everything's okay again. We're not under attack anymore. Turns out the way to defeat an army of alien plants is to use herbicide on them. And then, oh, hello.
Yeah, we got to
Hey,
keep those little
guys are here.
guys. They're really
Yeah.
sweet. And Master Guff was really sorry. He agreed he'd kind of gone a bit crazy, you know, like a lot of people did during lockdown. He just got too focused on his plants, and
We all had those moments where we wanted to kill everyone, didn't we?
I was going to say a lot of people got really, really into gardening, but yeah, Damian,
Yeah, we don't all have gardens.
that's true. Yeah, so that was the case of the extraterrestrial houseplants. Turns out the house he was talking about was a greenhouse at Kew Gardens. And they really were aliens. So that's a first for the Weird Ass podcast.
It is, yeah. Normally it turns out to just be that somebody was crazy, but this worked out well.
I mean, it was both, yeah.
So tune in next time for more Weird Ass podcasts from the Cambridge Impronauts, and we'll bring you new mysteries.
Yeah, thanks for listening.
That's it. Bye.
Bye-bye.
The Weird Ass Podcast.
The Weird Ass Podcast.